We're in volume 7 of the set of books that I have of, of the Bible story. Um, this we are at part 4, story 6, The Man with Five Friends. Okay? One day, Jesus was invited into a very nice home in Capernaum to meet some famous people. Pharisees and doctors of the law had gathered here out of every town of Galilee and Judah and Jerusalem. These church leaders had heard a great deal about Jesus and they wanted to meet him. With the whole countryside talking about this new teacher and healer, they felt that they must find out about him for themselves. Most of them, no doubt, were old men with with long gray beards. Besides them, Jesus, only 30 years of age, must have seemed quite young. Couldn't you see them peering at him with keen, critical eyes, wondering how this humble-looking carpenter of Nazareth could be the could do these things people said he had done? At last, Jesus began to speak, but it was difficult to make himself heard. There were so many people outside clamoring to get in. It seemed as if the whole town knew he was there and wanted to be near him and listen to his words. Suddenly, something extraordinary happened. The roof began to disappear. Looking up, the Pharisees and doctors of the law saw several pairs of hands hurriedly taking the tiles off the roof. Then, to their amazement, down came a bed, lowered and lowered on ropes held by 4 men. Down, down it came until it was right in the midst of everybody. On the bed there was a very sick man who so paralyzed that he could scarcely move. Some of the important men were very much annoyed. Some, no doubt, said, "Take him away, get him out of here at once." And then it's got illustration of this. It kind of makes me a little sad. That's what it looks like, the illustration. And there's a me because you see the big R. Okay, they're stuck together. But the sick man was lying helpless on the bed, and Jesus's tender heart was full of pity for him. Knowing the true cause of the poor man's disease, Jesus said to him, "Man, thy sins are forgiven thee." Blasphemy worship, whispered one of the old men. Who can forgive sins but God alone? Jesus knew what they were thinking and asked them, which is easier to say, "Thy sins are forgiven thee," or say, "Rise up and walk"? None of them could answer him. So Jesus told them he would let them see that the Son of Man had power on earth to forgive sins. Turning to the sick man, he told him to get up, take up his bed, and go home. Instantly the man leaped to his feet, perfectly well, and ran away glorifying God. I hope he stopped long enough to thank his friends, for he had 5 of them. The 4 who had let him down through the roof, and Jesus who had restored him to health and strength. As for the men, they were all amazed, and they glorified God. and were filled with fear, saying, "We have seen strange things today." And then it has a picture of the Remy, of the man jumping up and praising. And this is a very, very short story. Okay, and that is the end of part 4, story 6. So we're going to take the break, and then I'll be back, and we're at the proof book. We got maybe 4 more stories to go, and then we'll be in the next book. But we'll be back in just a minute. Give me a sec.